receive the completed forms from His Excellency the President. Oh, hello, photographers. Thank you very much, Mr. President and Mr. Auditor General. I now have the singular honor of inviting.
I have QTV 24/7. Subscribe na mo share video na mo like na mo share my dream. Comment section hono. Eno na ya na motivate kakra. Abusua. Ni gisem kwa na medenam. Nra nyema o mampani Mahama. Eyeye ana wo de betu twa no. Fatima ni age. Wo declare wo declare na japade nyina wo tabre ni nyina de gu nkrata so de bre Auditor General say papa eje na majapade nyina me wonie a mabeyo omampani na mewi omampani a hwese mewi be ajapade ana mawi o mesika ya bi foforo aka ho na me sagina so say MPs, ministers, assemblyman, nwan DCs openi she omonketi mo bia providing the documents said media bre won me na me dikan si me be dikan aye me de me vice president be ye ne de na me ministers me nkrofa me pointi wo nyina no me hyewo nda me gina we kopam March ending obi antimi amfa ne documents aba emra ene ne bedi office kura wa sati mbokura besa tu na firi ho abusia mani agia me hu de meye no dane documents ndi share papa nsa and office tamman 2016 a o mampani akufa do bedi o man wusu no a na wato na japade nyina to ne papa de nyina a na aka ne den ba kopɛ no ne yire ne ma nyina agum sade ntwaboa egu dan no mu na ko yes ade no ede baya nkenya ne senka na wanyi sika tem atoden wo UK America Canada no ne niema no nyina Canada fori atatima atoden wo abrochiri ewie Ghana sika MPs ministers tika sadewe ebe turga sade constitution ka 1992 mra no eka no nka kufadu disu da atam no na ko no ye ne de sase de mama ye ya abusia nka menya so corruption akoso bebrebe nka sabe producer nka koro no sam we bakoso because nkomo obi representing the documents by anka be hwehwem ajapade owo sesian kwan be so no fa so nya eboso nsumpo waketua yesai allowance se na de ma egrasha se na de ma abusia Mahama disani ma onyina de ma Auditor General ejina so hyemra ema no ejina so hyese omo obi anya adwuma kete mumme yentie nsam na nkasa free papa no
who is the Deputy Auditor General for Performance and Special Audit. And my name is Johnson Kwamwasi. I'm the Auditor General.
All right, thank you very much. We've also been joined by Dr. Callistus Mahama, Secretary to the President, and Mrs. Joyce Bawa-Muktari, Senior Presidential Advisor and Special Aide to His Excellency the President. At this stage, I will call on the Auditor General to receive the completed forms from His Excellency the President. Oh, hello, photographers. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and Mr. Auditor General. I now have the singular honor of inviting His Excellency the President to make a few remarks on why this ceremony is taking place. Thank you.
I was just looking at the statute on Assets Declaration, and under Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, it names the President, the Vice President, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Members of Parliament, and judges. And then again under Act 550, Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets, it includes public officers, including those in the civil service, public corporations, and statutory boards. Then it also includes chief executives of all public corporations. It includes district chief executives, and then members of the Council of State. There are many people in public office who do not know that they are covered under this assets declaration regime. And so, Auditor General, there must be a reminder to all these people that they are covered under the assets declaration regime. And so I have presented mine this morning, and let me make a few remarks. Senior government officials present, the Auditor General and staff of your department, we're very happy to have you here this morning at the Presidency, friends of the media. I've just performed a simple but brief, very important act of presenting my completed assets declaration forms to the Auditor General as required by Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution and the Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualifications Act 1998, Act 550. Ghana's assets declaration regime and its related activities have often been shrouded in secrecy, and only unless in special circumstances, compliance is often difficult to measure. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shone on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. Even as we strive to hold past government officials accountable for their stewardship, I deem it even more imperative to enforce anti-corruption among our present public office holders. Charity, they say, begins at home. I'm therefore determined to take the necessary steps to ensure that we fight corruption vigorously so that the precious little resources that have been entrusted to us by the Ghanaian people are used only in their interest. There have been issues raised about the effectiveness of the current assets declaration regime. We must take advantage of the current constitution review process to strengthen the assets declaration regime to make it more relevant to changing times. I believe that we must move to a regime where the assets so declared can be published before and after public office, so that the phenomenon of unexplained and overnight wealth, obviously earned through the proceeds of corruption, can be checked. I trust that a healthy debate can be had over this issue and consensus built on the way forward, so that collectively we can defeat the unwholesome canker of corruption. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.